Okay, today is Friday, October 18th, and this is Matt Butler, your Commonwealth's attorney in Letcher County, Kentucky, here in the 47th District. I wanted to give you a sort of a general update, including a follow-up on some things that I posted on September 20th of last month. The first is something that's been in the news, and hopefully you've already heard that our courthouse now is what I would consider to be much more safe. I'm not going to take credit for that, but I am going to celebrate it and share with you. We now have a metal detector at the front door. You will be greeted by officers at the front door who will check you for weapons and run you through a metal detector. Every single person that goes in the courthouse for any reason, including the staff, they're going to go through that metal detector. That's a good thing. That's common in every judicial center, I think, except for maybe one that I can think of. And so we're glad to be caught up with the times. Again, that's not my doing, but it was something that I wanted. It was something I personally am glad to see. And so that's great. That's progress. I told you in a prior video that I was going to try to remedy a situation where one of my two assistant Commonwealth attorneys, Michael Watts, is what we call a share employee, I guess. He is somebody who is an assistant county attorney, and he's an assistant Commonwealth attorney. And through some quirks that are nobody's fault, the difference in pay between Michael only staying at the county attorney's office and coming back to my office is $1,500. And so I said I was going to try to do something about that. I did. I went to Frankfort today. I'm back here in Whitesburg. And unfortunately, there is sort of, because of budget constraints and the realities of PAC, who manages sort of the budgets for our offices, there really isn't anything they can realistically do for me. I went down there and pled the case in every way I could think of. I told them what a wonderful employee Mike Watts is. I told them how he carried this office for several years when it was just Michael and Edison wasn't working regularly. Michael did a lot of work, did a fantastic job. Deserves anything they could have given him, but unfortunately, because of some subsidies and things that are too complicated to explain, the difference between Michael working for me and not working for me is only $1,500. So despite all of that, the only person with really any bad news today is Michael, because for everybody else, I have great news. Michael, despite the fact that I couldn't get him compensated for being here, is going to stay on in my office for at least the time being. And so think about all of the work that's going to entail for him. And he's going to make, when I say $1,500, I mean in an entire year. So just a little over $100 a month to work here. And he's going to agree to do that. So that is service. That is putting your county before yourself. If there's anything I could do personally to make that more square, I would have done it. I do not control the budget. But I do want to brag on him, and I feel like if you love Letcher County like I do, and like he obviously does, if you see him, just tell him thank you. That's commendable. That's really great of him to do that. He certainly does not have to do that. But he loves Letcher County, and he wants to make sure that my office is fully staffed, which it is. We now have every position filled. We are working hard. You're probably aware we've had 2 jury trials, and because of the schedule, some civil cases and things have taken some of the trial slots. There's only so many Mondays in a year, and they don't all go to criminal prosecutions. And so I've tried cases on the weeks I was able to try cases. We tried 2. We got 2 maximum jury verdicts. I think they're very fair, just results. I'm very proud of the work that my office put in to get those 2 cases through trial and to get convictions. We have a temporary district judge. We already knew he was coming. Judge Hall is here from his retirement, but he used to be in Floyd County, Kentucky, and things are going good in district court. Things are moving along again. People are getting court dates. If you were expecting to be in district court, you probably already have some sort of notice resetting your case. The district court is not really where my office typically is. The district court, that's where you're going to have your probates, your misdemeanors, your traffic tickets, small claims actions, and your cases involving removal of custody by social services, and occasionally what we call a preliminary hearing, which would involve either my office or the county attorney. But even though I'm not in district court, I care about the county and I want the district court to run smoothly, and it is. You've heard me talk quite a bit about Senate Bill 90, which was something that Judge Mullins pioneered and was proud of, and Judge Hall has assured us we're going to get that back going. The Senate Bill 90 coordinator had a death in the family, has been out. She'll be back in, and cases will start to get put back on the Senate Bill 90 docket or list if they are appropriate for that in district court. So again, even though that's not something I control, that's in district court anyways, that's more of the territory of the county attorney's office. Either way, that program is going to get used. That's a good thing. I can explain to you anytime you want to talk to me about that, why that is such a good thing. But it gives people what they need to get out of criminal court. It doesn't excuse their behavior. They still have to earn their dismissal the way you would on probation. But it gives people the tools they need, so we don't have to see them over and over and over again with misdemeanors. So we like that. We want them out of here. Our hope is that when a long-term appointment is made, that whoever takes that appointment respects the pioneering work of Judge Mullins. You know, we were a national trendsetter for that. And whoever takes that job, hopefully they will keep up the good work and not be regressive, not go back to just putting everybody in jail if they didn't really need to be there. We want to do justice. We are not mean. We want to do justice. And sometimes justice means figuring out who you can help and who you can't. So hopefully the new judge will do that. I don't know who that will be yet. There's a long, long process that you probably don't want all the details on, but there needs to be recommendations and then a governor's appointment. That could be many months before we have what you might call like a local person appointed to that. Somebody who's from Letcher County is going to take that appointment as the regular judge and sort of take that docket back, or take back the district court from Judge Hall, who's just here to help us and is doing a wonderful thing. There are some things I can control in this office. You know, I can't control whether or not they give me more money in my budget, and I can't control the fact that they're still working on moving me to another location. That is such a headache that I won't trouble you with it. Obviously, that's not done yet. That's obviously something we want to happen. We want to be downtown. We want to be in a safer location, and we are not going to bite the hand that feeds us. We are going to respect PAC and the requirements that they have to go through for government leasing and, you know, advertising and all of the stuff they do to get that process moving. So we don't want to be difficult to deal with. We want to be patient. But at the same time, I would very much like to be downtown with my office staff in a safe location. So we can't wait for that to happen, but we are respectful of the people that are working on that for us. Things I can control are moving cases, which we are doing. One telltale sign that you're doing a good job is that people who had set their case for trial now want to resolve their case. I think that the rationale behind that is that if a defendant doesn't think you're going to do anything to them, if they don't think you're serious about prosecuting, they'll just ask for the case to be set for trial. They'll expect the deal to get better. They will try to strong-arm you into giving them whatever they want. But because I'm here, I'm willing to try cases, and so are my assistants, and everybody in my office is willing to put in the work, issuing subpoenas and getting cases ready for trial. Defendants can't just dictate the terms of their surrender anymore. They can't just tell us what's going to happen. If it's not fair, we're not going to let it happen. We're going to make sentences be fair. We are going to have trials if somebody will not take accountability, and we're going to focus on the cases that need to be focused on, and we're doing a good job of that. Things are moving much, much faster. The grand jury is meeting regularly. Cases are getting indicted on time. Nobody is getting what they call a 60-day dismissal anymore. That would be maybe under the last regime, Edison would not get somebody indicted within 60 days of their preliminary hearing, and the law would require that upon a motion that their charges be dismissed until they're indicted and that they be released from any sort of bond or custody. So they would get out of jail just because the grand jury didn't indict them in time. That's not going to happen anymore unless it's a case we don't want to prosecute. So if somebody has had a preliminary hearing, we're going to get them indicted well within that 60-day time frame. We've been doing cases much, much faster than that. I would say we're basically every 2 weeks we're doing all the cases from the prior 2 weeks. We're basically caught up. That's great. It's going to take longer to catch up on all the trials, especially if you're going to require people to take fair deals, because some people are just going to want to have trials. That's going to keep more things on the trial docket, if that makes sense. But we're here to trial cases. That is my job. I've always been willing to try cases, whether it be when I was the public defender, when I was new, or at any point in my career. That is what you all are paying me to do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not, of course, an investigative office, and so if you want to know, like, something bad happened and it's not indicted yet, well, I can't do anything about that until that case is ready to be presented to the grand jury by the investigating officer. And so we're sort of like in a relay race, and we're waiting for the baton is the best way of thinking of that. But I assure you that when things are ready for me to do something, I'm going to do them as fast as can be done, and I'm going to make sure that the case is handled fairly, and I'm responsible and just in what I do in those cases. I do have some things that I want to talk about that are more personal to me or more related to my election. I'm going to try to separate those things from this channel. So this video is only going to be posted on the Commonwealth Attorney's page. It relates to things that the public should care about with the office. That would be opposed to how's my family doing, how's the election, do you have any opinions on anything else? That stuff, we're going to try to have a kind of a clear line between those two things. And so I probably will make a separate post today on my personal page. You may see two posts from the same day. They're different posts, but watch for that. I'll make another video to talk about more election-related things separately, so that this page is strictly about a public office. I think that's the right thing to do. It's a lot of information. If you need me to explain something to you, you just need to talk to me, reach out and talk to me. Send me a message on my Facebook page, call the office, send me a message on this Facebook page, my personal one or this one, whichever one you're connected to. I do get a lot of messages. I will do my best to get back with you as fast as I can. And as always, I'm never going to have any professional or personal comments related directly to the big case, let's just say. And that will always be my answer. So, before you ask, if you're media or you're just a curious person, that it would not be professional of me to delve into that stuff. I'm not part of that case, and I will have no comment on that. Anything short of that, if there's a way I can help you, or if you're curious what's going on in your Commonwealth Attorney's office, I work for you. Please reach out for me. I hope you have a great weekend, but I will be happy this weekend or at any time to answer any questions you have. Okay? Thank you.
So here is Matt Butler, our Commonwealth Attorney for Letcher County. This is his Facebook page, the professional one. And so we're just looking. Here's where he was appointed. And then we're going to read this. July 12th. He says that I attended the first of many drug court sessions as the Commonwealth Attorney yesterday. Before I took office, nobody from the prosecutor's side had been attending in ages. I'm a firm believer that, for the appropriate people, drug court and other specialty courts like Veterans Court are a great tool to help the community and the defendants who need help. Drug court is not available for violent criminals and is not appropriate for rug reelers. It's for people with substance abuse problems who need intensive counseling, rug testing, supervision, and help. Drug court requires participants to work and to do community service. It keeps child support payments and restitution payments coming. It keeps people working and paying taxes, and it saves lives. Over the years, I've volunteered on drug courts in 3 counties because I believe in it. I will share success stories and examples of the good it does. Give drug court a chance and watch what it can do. On August 8th, he went on to say a huge night for law enforcement. Your Letcher County Sheriff's Office and Whitesburg City Police reached out to him last night to help navigate the search warrant process and came up huge. If you're a person suffering from drug addiction, please reach out for help. But if you are a person causing this suffering by selling rugs for a living, maybe it's time to consider leaving Letcher County, he says. Here he seems to have been interviewed by WEKU, and he seems to be very proud of the interview. He goes on to speak about how he's resolved a lot of cases in his first 2 months, but it felt fantastic to have our first jury trial and conviction. The jury has recommended a maximum sentence on a child sexual abuse case. I'm honored to serve as Commonwealth's attorney for Letcher County, and protecting children is my number one priority. Thank you to my staff for their great work. Well, we know that he had to recuse himself from the Patrick Little case because he defended Patrick Little in a related case. So, I guess everybody needs a defense. I just don't know how you stand on both sides of that argument. You either defend a sexual abuser, a child sexual abuser, or you prosecute them. But you can't do both and expect to get the pat on the back on both sides. That's just a little bit too much, in my opinion. He goes on in another post. About a week later, I just finished a second jury trial in 2 weeks. The jury recommended a maximum sentence on a meth possession case after the defendant thumbed his nose at an offer of supervised probation. The Commonwealth Attorney for Letcher County's office is back in business. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that my office is keeping you safe. Keep me in November and we will keep things moving forward. Oh, but I thought this was just supposed to be for business, not the election. Then it goes on. On September 20th, a note on my recusal and what to expect from my office and the special prosecutors. Please continue to pray for the family of Judge Mullins. And he has taken that video down. He took it down very shortly after he posted it. And then we have people like Mimi Pickering, who is one of the nonprofit workers in this area. I will keep my personal opinions about her to myself. But she says, thank you for your professionalism, your concern and empathy for all involved, and your kindness. We are lucky to have you as Letcher County Commonwealth Attorney for our community. Her son's best friend is an attorney, and so anybody who is insulated by attorneys in this area have a very high sense of entitlement. Now here I went to look for his personal page. I didn't find it. This is the About section of the Commonwealth Attorney's Facebook page. And it looks like it still has his personal cell phone number in there, which I don't recommend anybody calling. But it didn't work out very well for me. But it might work out well for you, especially if you're friends with him. It looks like it was created July 12th, 2024. So he just created this page when he was appointed. And this is just a little look at our new Matt Butler Commonwealth Attorney for Letcher County, with the picture of the Constitution behind him there. That's kind of ironic. And so here's what I found when I went to go look for his own personal page that he said to watch out for. And as you see, Matt Butler. There's a whole bunch of them here. But I don't see one for him. It just goes and goes and goes. So I don't know if he's blocked me Or if he just doesn't have a personal page that I can find. Maybe I'm not spelling it correctly or something. But this was the update that our Letcher County Commonwealth Attorney has put out recently. And, but if you're looking for any information on Judge Mullins and Sheriff Mickey Steins, don't ask him because he has no comment.